Sit down here quickly. Answer me one thing. If you saw a stock paying 12% dividend yield while everyone else is paying 6%, what would you think? Wow, this is where I'm going to get rich. Wrong. This is the perfect bait. It's the candy the market leaves on the floor to see if you bite. And do you know what happens to those who bite? It bleeds blood. Literally. Many people fall for this. They start investing in stocks or funds that promise very high dividends, thinking this will accelerate their dream of living off their income. However, these companies, in 99% of cases, are in financial trouble or operate in extremely unstable sectors. What does this mean? Dividend cuts, cut after cut. The stock drops, the dividend evaporates, and the dream turns to dust. Want a real example? In the US, there is a company called Prospect Capital, PSEC. For years, it lured investors with a 12% yield. And what did it do? Cut its dividends by more than 50% in the last 10 years. Now imagine that you put all your money there, counting on that income to pay rent, food, or even leave work. And suddenly she disappears. This isn't living off dividends. This is playing Russian roulette with your financial future. Want some golden advice? Too high a return is a sign of risk, not opportunity. If an asset is paying significantly above the industry average, be wary. The market doesn't give anything for nothing, and that's where many people fall down hard. But do you know what the second mistake is that ends up killing the dream of living off dividends and the discouragement at first? Yes, that feeling in your stomach after 6 months of investing and seeing that you've earned $9. You look at your wallet and think, that's it? All this effort for a frozen pizza from Walmart? And I understand you. In the beginning, dividend investing is painfully slow. It's like watching paint dry or waiting for water to boil on low heat. But let me tell you a secret that most people don't understand. Every empire starts small. Your first year will be the most frustrating. Income will be minimal. Growth will be almost invisible. And it is precisely at this stage that most give up. They don't understand what's about to happen. There is a phenomenon in the investment world called dividend snowball. The dividend snowball. You start small, reinvest everything you receive, and let time do the hard work. At first, this ball barely rolls, but as the months pass and dividends are reinvested, compound interest kicks in and begins to accelerate. And when she gains traction, she destroys any other form of passive income in terms of consistency and predictability. But the problem? Almost no one has the patience to wait for it to grow. The person looks at the chart and thinks, 20 years to get it right, I'm out. And then she leaves the game. Exactly before the magic begins. If you are at this stage and feeling unmotivated, let me tell you, this is normal. But it's also the most important part. It's the phase where you prove to yourself that you really know how to play the game. Either you resist or you start from scratch every year like 90% of people. Want to learn how to build truly passive income and never depend on your job again? Sign up now and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any secrets. And look, even if you can resist the temptation of high dividends and endure the slow start, there's still a third trap waiting for you around the corner. Oh, hype. Yes, the damn hype. You know when you're there, focused, reinvesting your dividends properly, and suddenly you see on the news, Palantir shares surged 28% in a single day. MicroStrategy soars after Bitcoin's new rally. You open your investment app, look at your portfolio, and it's there, quiet, paying your $60 a month in dividends, stable, predictable, peaceful. And then comes the poisonous thought. Am I doing this wrong? This is the time when many abandon ships. They sell their solid stocks, the ones that would build real financial freedom, and chase the next skyrocket stock or cryptocurrency that will make you a millionaire in 6 months. But let me tell you something serious now. You won't win this game by trying to guess the future. If it were easy to pick stocks that multiply by 10, everyone would have done it already. Why didn't you buy Bitcoin at $1? Why didn't you join Tesla in 2012? Why does no one get the timing right consistently? Meanwhile, dividends don't depend on luck. They don't depend on hype. They don't depend on headlines. They come from the real profit of real companies. And if you reinvest those dividends in solid companies, you build an income machine that grows on its own, month after month, without you even having to open the app. But of course, this doesn't have the same glamour as posting a screenshot of a 300% profit on a meme stock. Dividend investing is the uncle in slippers of the market. Quiet, consistent, and ultimately wins. So the question is, do you want to look rich today, or do you want to be truly free in a few years? The illusion of haste, when the now sabotages your future. And even after all this, resisting the excessively high dividends, overcoming the slow start, ignoring the market hype, there's one more sneaky villain ready to take you down. Buy press. Yes, the rush. That feeling that you need to accelerate, that you can't wait 10, 15 years to live off your income, that if you invest in stocks with a 5% dividend yield, it will take forever to quit your boring job, pay off your mortgage, or achieve financial freedom. And then what happens? You start to think, if I double my exposure to higher risk assets, I can reach my goals faster. This is the exact moment you sabotage your own future. Porque dividend investing. It was not made for the impatient. It is a wealth-building method, not a lottery ticket. You won't go from 0 to $1 million overnight. But with consistency, reinvestment, and time, what you build is unshakable. Think with me. Would you rather invest in something that might give you a peak profit tomorrow but drop 80% the following month? Or something that month after month pays you real money, cash flow directly into your account, for decades without forcing you to sell assets? Do you know what the problem is with people who are in a hurry? It's just that this person is always starting over, jumping from one strategy to another, trying to find the shortcut that simply does not exist. Meanwhile, whoever is patient, be quiet, reinvest, ignore the noise, and one day you wake up earning $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 a month without having to move a finger. Dividend investing doesn't reward the smartest. It rewards those who hold out the longest. So stop asking yourself, how long will it take? And start asking yourself, who will I be when I get there? If you're tired of empty promises and want a real strategy to live off dividends, click subscribe and join me on this journey. Now let me reveal something to you that seems obvious, but that almost no one really understands. Those who build wealth with dividends aren't those who make the best investment. They're those who endure the entire process. You know that friend who started out with you, investing every month, reinvesting dividends, super focused, and then suddenly disappears? A few months go by, and you see him posting on Instagram, "Get out of stocks, I'm in crypto now. I found a real estate fund that promises 18% per year." He didn't realize it, but he just threw away all the progress he had made. This is the standard. People jump from branch to branch, strategy to strategy, never letting time do the work. They live in reboot mode, always starting over, always with the hope that this time it will, but never staying long enough to reap the rewards. And do you know what the cost of that is? It's just that compound. Interest hates interruptions. They only work if you give them time. Every pause, every impulse sale, every strategy change resets the clock on your freedom. Dividends are like a rare plant. You need to water it often, take care of it with care, and let it grow in its own time. But if you dig the soil every week to see if the roots are developing, guess what? You'll kill the plant. Consistency is the difference between winners. It's not glamour, it's not luck, it's not genius. It's doing the same simple thing long enough until the results become inevitable, and most of them can't. So, if you really want to live off dividends and live well, stop looking for excitement in your portfolio. Procure predictability, discipline, and time. These are the 3 gears that move your freedom. This is the place for those who want concrete results and the patience to grow. Sign up and join the team that knows how to invest wisely. Let's be honest for a minute. Have you ever seen someone post on Instagram, I lost 40% of my equity trying to day trade this week. Of course, what you see are the profits, the screenshots of the earnings, the stories with rental cars, the videos with phrases like, "I bought this stock and made 300% in 2 months." And you, there on the other side of the screen, start to feel small. I'm here getting $120 a month in dividends while this guy is making that much in a day. This is the illusion of the modern investor. You're being fooled by a carefully edited window dressing, and the price of this silent comparison is abandoning the only strategy that truly works: long-term consistency. Look what the data says. And it's not guesswork, it's a serious study. Most investors who make frequent market moves perform worse than if they had simply bought and held. Worse, they earn less, they lose more, they live in a cycle of anxiety and regret. But that doesn't get likes. Nobody shares that. Meanwhile, dividend investing continues, quietly, slowly, methodically. No fireworks, no adrenaline, but also without catastrophic losses, because it doesn't depend on getting the timing right. It depends on just one thing: continue. Do you want to be the guy who impresses others on the internet, or the one who lives comfortably with a passive income that drops every month, no matter what the stock market is doing? Remember, Instagram shows you the stage. Dividend investing gives you a behind-the-scenes look at freedom. Choose wisely. Are you ready for an uncomfortable truth? Most forms of passive income out there aren't passive at all. Property rental, you still have to deal with tenants, maintenance, property taxes, leaks, defaults, and of course, the famous little problem with the refrigerator. Selling online courses, you become a slave to the algorithm, the ads, the launches, and the support. Create content. You need to post every day, make thumbnails, respond to comments, and study trends. That's work, not freedom. Now, dividends. Dividends are different. You invest. The company generates profit. She pays you part of that profit directly into your account without you doing absolutely anything. It is the only income that actually fits the definition of passive. Money dripping into your account while you sleep, read a book, or drink coffee on the balcony. You can literally stay weeks without opening your investment app, and yet your assets continue to work for you. What's more, dividends don't require you to sell anything. You don't need to sell your assets to receive payment. This is crucial, because when you sell stocks to earn income, you are killing the goose that lays the golden eggs. But with dividends, you collect the eggs, and the hen is still there. Plump, calm, laying more every month. It's real income, predictable, scalable, and vanity-free. Do you want to live truly passively? Forget the glamour. Focus on dividends. You don't need $1 million to live off dividends. Listen to this carefully. You don't have to be rich to start building freedom. In fact, it's exactly the opposite. The belief that only those who have 1 million in the account can live off dividends is one of the biggest lies out there, and it's holding you back, making you think that this game, it's not for you. But let me prove to you that it is. Let's do a quick calculation from adult to adult. If you invest $1,000 a month in stocks that pay a 6% annual dividend yield and reinvest it all with discipline over the years, this will turn into a solid and growing passive income. With compound interest kicking in month after month, your money starts to multiply on its own, and the dividends you receive go towards buying more stocks, which pay more dividends, which buy even more stocks. Hey there, my friend, the machine is on. No inheritance needed. You don't need to earn 6 figures a year. You don't need to get the fashion action right. You only need 3 things: time, consistency, and strategy. While many people wait until they have enough money to start, you can start with what you have, because at the end of the day, what separates those who live off dividends and those who don't is not how much they invested. It is how much you could afford to invest month after month without giving up. Want to see something even more powerful? If you start early, even with little, You have what the rich would give anything to buy: time. And time in investments is worth more than money. So don't expect to have a lot to start. Start small, but start now. The fatal danger of trying to win faster and losing it all. If there's one thing that destroys many people's financial lives, it's the desire to make money quickly. Impatient investors fall straight into this trap. They seek investments that promise explosive returns with excessively high dividends or trendy stocks and end up sacrificing security and consistency. The result? They lose not only money, but also the confidence to continue investing. It's that old story of putting the cart before the horse. You try to accelerate too much and end up rolling over. Dividend investing isn't about becoming a millionaire overnight. It's about building a fortress, brick by brick, and weathering the storms of the market. Those who try to win too quickly usually lose everything because they don't understand that. High risk plus haste, financial disaster. The smart way is the opposite. Choose solid investments with a history of reliable dividends. Be patient. Let time do the dirty work, because in the long run, it is the consistent and disciplined investor who comes out ahead. Want to avoid this trap? Ignore the amazing promises. Focus on what really matters, building passive income safe and sustainable. The hard truth about too high dividends: they can be traps. Have you ever noticed that when something seems too good to be true, it probably is? Very high dividends, above the market average, are a flashing red warning sign. Why? Because high yields often mean a company is in trouble, and that can lead to dividend cuts. Imagine depending on a huge income, but it disappears overnight. It's a disaster that ruins your plan to live off passive income. So when you see that miracle 10%, 12%, 15% return, take a deep breath and ask yourself the most important question: is this sustainable? Many companies offer high yields because their share price has fallen too much, or because their financial health isn't all that great. Investing solely for high yields is like taking a path that seems shorter but is full of potholes. The safe path is to focus on consistent dividends that grow over time, because in the world of dividends, stability is worth much more than fleeting brilliance. Patience is the only weapon against market fluctuations. You'll hear a lot about investing in stocks being like a roller coaster, and it really is. Stock prices rise, fall, sometimes plummet, and then rise again. This scares many people and causes many to give up. But here's the trick that few people want to tell you. If you're investing to live off dividends, the ups and downs of the stock price matter much less than you might think, because you don't depend on selling the stock to have income. You depend on the constant payment of dividends, so those drops that sound like earthquakes are just noises. You need to cultivate an iron mentality, an almost Zen-like patience. Let time do the work, and don't let emotions rule. Whoever can do this has a huge advantage in the investment game, because they will reap the dividends while most are paralyzed by fear. Dividend investing is for the strong, for those who know how to wait, for those who know that financial freedom is a marathon, not a 100-meter sprint. Financial freedom through dividends is real, but only for those who have the courage to wait. Here's the cold, hard truth. Living off dividends is not a fairy tale. It's not a shortcut to quick riches. It's a long, often lonely, and challenging road, but it's the safest path for those who want a true, consistent, and time-tested passive income. The financial freedom you dream of is reserved for those who understand that. There is no magic formula. There is no such thing as instant profit. There is no money falling from the sky. Exists discipline, exists patient, constant investment. There is the courage to ignore the market noise, the false promises, and the anxiety. If you commit to this, even starting small, you will build an income machine that never stops growing. This is the essence of dividend investing, and the greatest weapon against instability in the financial world. The question remains: do you have the courage to wait to really win? If you've watched this far, you already know that living off dividends isn't a get-rich-quick story. It's not a magical path where money falls from the sky. In fact, it's quite the opposite. It's a journey that requires something much more difficult: patience, discipline, and consistency. I see many people start out excited, full of hope, but quickly become discouraged because the results don't appear quickly. What few people tell you is that, in the world of dividend investing, the true rewards come to those who know how to wait, to those who understand that it's a marathon, not a sprint. You need to resist the temptation to chase overly high dividends, promises of quick gains, and market fads that distract you and make you lose focus. Because ultimately these traps are what cause many people to lose money, waste time, and worse, lose the chance to build real financial freedom. But here's the best news. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to wait for $1 million to get started. You just have to start. Where is it? With what you have, and invest with intelligence and patience. When you choose this path, your money starts working for you, not the other way around. Your dividends start growing, your investments start multiplying, and you build a steady source of income that doesn't depend on your time or constant effort. This is true financial freedom, being able to live off your income without having to exchange hours for dollars, without worrying about the ups and downs of the market, without depending on others. But to achieve this, you need courage. Courage to start, courage to wait, courage to ignore the noise, and most importantly, courage to keep going when everything seems too slow. I challenge you to make this choice today. Decide that you will build this passive income in a smart and lasting way, that you will avoid dangerous shortcuts, and that you will play the game to truly win in the long run. If you're ready for this journey, subscribe to the channel, like it, and share this video with anyone you know who needs to hear this message. Together, we'll build a community of conscious, patient, and determined investors. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video, where we'll continue revealing the secrets to achieving financial independence safely and effectively.